When I was in my 20s climbing up the corporate ladder, I would often say that experiences and age doesn't matter. However, today, as I've lived through years, I realize that there is merit to experiences that come with age. As I grow older, I've learned hard truths about life that have helped me put things into perspective and be my authentic self. So, in today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 hard truths that I've learned with age. Before I get started, a quick reminder to 90% of you who haven't yet subscribed to my channel to do so now and click on the notification bell icon so that you can be notified every time I release a new video. I put a lot of effort bringing these videos to you, and your subscription means the world to me. It lets me know that you find value in what I bring to you, helps with channel growth, and encourages me to bring these videos to you. And now that we have you subscribed, let's get started. One of the hardest truths that I have learned about life is that life isn't fair. Whether it's your career or your personal life, fairness isn't guaranteed. You could be the most qualified person for a promotion, but someone else with different connections or timing might get the job, might get that promotion. You could love someone with all your heart and still figure out that they chose somebody else. For me, that realization was a big realization, and it happened early on in my life when I lost a chance of promotion to somebody else. And I talk about it extensively in the book Fast Track Your Leadership Career that I have over here. But basically, don't expect life to be fair. There would be moments when you feel like universe is against you. But learning to be resilient and knowing that life isn't fair helps you really think about how you want to respond to that situation. Over time, you just realize that moving forward with grace helps you navigate these disappointments. Being unfairly passed over does not diminish your value, your self-worth. It just means that it wasn't your time yet. And kind of tying into life is not fair comes my second hard truth, which is corporate culture is almost never based on merit. Early on in my career, I used to believe that hard work, dedication, and competence and skills would automatically lead to my success. But I've learned that the corporate culture is rarely pure meritocracy. Sometimes it's about whom you know, the internal politics, or just being in the right place at the right time. Promotions and opportunities are not always handed over based on merit or talent. There are often so many hidden dynamics that are at play. You can either be frustrated with it or learn to navigate the system, build relationships, advocate for yourself, and find sponsors that will help you get where you want to be. Understanding this reality of the corporate culture and workplace dynamics helps you adapt rather than feel defeated for the lack of fairness. So when I was in my 20s, I was so focused on saving for my retirement, saving for a house, saving for building wealth. Little did I realize that life is not just about saving, and that's the third hard truth. While financial stability is important, life is not just about constantly working. Life is about investing. Life is about investing in your relationships and in your experiences. Money is a tool to create experiences, trips that you take, the relationships that you build, the memories that you create. They matter the most. And while saving is necessary, living in the moment is just as critical. Today, as I've grown older, I realized that I missed on so many of those experiences. That wonderful time in college where I could have built lasting relationships and friendships, when I could have traveled and experienced world in a different way than how I travel today, given that I have responsibilities. Things would have been so much different, and I would have grown so much as a person if I would have not just focused on preparing for the future, but also lived in the present. Which kind of brings me to the next hard truth, which is plans fail. No matter how well you plan, life will always throw curveballs. You can create a perfect 5-year plan, a career strategy, a dream wedding, map out all your retirement goals. Still, things will go wrong. And that's life. Opportunities may vanish, relationships may break, and market might crash. We have all been through that. The truth that I have learned is that Plans are great for guidance, but flexibility is what really matters. Knowing that you're creating a plan and there are 75% chances of that plan being successful and 20% of the chances that you might have to shift their plan or build something new helps you be adaptable, helps you prepare for future, helps you be resilient. What has worked for me always is being able to pivot quickly, find new paths as old ones crumble, and sometimes knowing that unexpected would lead to opportunities that I never imagined. So for me, the mantra that I live by is if one door closes, many more would open. And when doors close, I look forward to the doors that are going to open rather than complain about the doors that have closed. Okay, this is a big one that I'm going to tell you. This hard truth is that you will have to ask for what you want. Yes, nobody is going to give you things on a silver plate without you asking. This is one of the biggest lessons that I have learned, that nobody will give you things that you think you deserve just because you have worked hard. You have to ask for it, whether it's a promotion, whether it's a pay raise, whether it's respect in personal relationships, whether it's even your love. You must clearly communicate your needs and desires. And too often we assume that people on the other side, be it our manager, be it our spouse, be it our parents, be it our children, or our friends, they will just understand what we need, given that we are putting in so much effort in either that relationship or that job. But the reality is that that doesn't happen. People on the other side are not listening to your imaginary needs that you haven't vocalized yet. So be vocal, advocate for yourself, and don't be afraid to ask for what you want. If you don't, you're likely going to miss out on opportunities that were well within your reach just because you didn't ask. So when I started my YouTube channel, it was really hard for me to ask people to subscribe to my channel. What I did not realize is that because I wasn't asking, subscribing to my channel was not top of mind for people. What was top of mind for people who were coming to my videos or looking at my videos was to gather information from these videos. When I started asking people to subscribe to my channel, I started noticing subscribers going up because now I had articulated my need, articulated that I wanted this channel to grow and to reach to people beyond the current audience. And that's why the subscription was important. So the next hard truth that I'm going to talk about kind of relates to today's world and era. There will always be people who will have more. No matter how successful you are, there'll always be someone who seems to have more, who seems to have more money, more success, more happiness, all the love in the life. It's easy to get in the trap of comparison, especially in today's world that's dominated by social media, where you only see the highlights or 10% of somebody's life. What I've learned is that chasing what others have is a never ending race. There's no finish line because someone will always be ahead of you. And you know what the reality is? The reality is that most often what these people have, the kind of life that they have, you don't even want that. But you're still comparing yourself to that life. So instead of focusing on what others have, I have started focusing on my own journey, my own progress. I compare myself to me. And what I've realized is that contentment does not come from having everything. It comes from appreciating what you have. My biggest regret is not the mistakes that I have made, but the opportunities that I did not take, the opportunities that I said no to, the times when I was too scared to speak up, too hesitant to take a risk, or just too comfortable in my being to step out of my routine. Over time, I've realized that the risks that I did not take haunt me more than the mistakes that I have made. It's always been an what if situation. What if I would have said yes to this opportunity? So as I grow older, I find myself saying yes to more opportunities, yes to taking more risks, and yes to experimenting more with things like starting this YouTube channel or a podcast that I run or the EVO initiative that I run. I have stepped away from my comfort zone to try out different things because I do not want to live a life of regrets. And that kind of ties into this next hard truth that I'm going to share with you, which is that there is always a zone between right and wrong. Life isn't always right or wrong. We all make decisions based on the information that we have at any given point in time. When we are younger, things seem to be more straightforward. Right is right and wrong is wrong. But as you age, you come to see the nuances, the gray areas. Not every decision is going to be clear cut, and sometimes doing the right thing involves difficult compromises. It's also about sometimes choosing between bad and worse. As I have grown older, I have realized that people are complex, life is ambiguous, situations are layered, and moral judgments aren't always easy. They're situational. So I have learned to live with ambiguity and make the best decisions I can with the information that I have at that point in time. And I have realized that while I had no gray zone early on in my career, now I have a really big gray zone as I start looking at situations. The next truth that I'm going to share with you might be unpopular, but let me know what you think about it in the comments after I tell you this truth. Money is very important. It's often said money can't buy happiness, and that's true. But money does buy freedom. It buys security. It buys options. Ask so many people who do not have a job right now and are still thinking about how are they going to pay their rent. As you age, you understand that financial stability is essential for peace of mind. It helps you make choices that align to your values, whether that's taking time off, pursuing a passion, or caring for your loved ones. If you do not have enough money to take care of your basic needs, your relationships suffer. How you show up at your job suffers. It basically puts you in situations where you have to deal with toxic people and toxic environments just for money. So while money does not solve all the problems, not having enough creates a lot of them. So, learning how to manage your money, learning how to respect money is a vital part of building a fulfilling life. And the last and one of the most important lessons that I have learned is that your happiness is your responsibility. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck for your dissatisfaction. But at the end of the day, only you can decide how you respond to life's challenges. Nobody's life is perfect. We just saw that life isn't fair. Corporate environment isn't fair, plans fail, and how you respond to these situations determines your happiness. You are the one who chooses how to react to setbacks, how to shape your life after those setbacks, and what to prioritize. Happiness isn't something that happens to you, it's something that you create. And this was a big learning for me. This was a huge learning for me in my 30s, where I was succeeding in everything that I did, but I was still unhappy. I was always reaching out for that next shiny job title or a next bigger paycheck without realizing that I was not living in the moment, that I wasn't happy inside. And this enlightenment, understanding that I held the key to my happiness, really changed my life in a big way. Owning that truth empowers you to take control of your life and to find joy no matter what obstacles come your way, no matter where you are, in whatever situation you are. You would have seen people who are rich, who have a lot of money, who seem like they have it all in terms of relationships, in terms of career, in terms of title, in terms of money, but they're still brooding and unhappy. And you would find somebody whom you think does not have a lot of money or does not have a job that they are happy about, but they're constantly happy and greeting you and exuding that happiness that brings joy to other people. You want to be that person. I want to be that person, I know. So I have learned to create moments of happiness for myself. There's still days when I feel sad about certain situations, but I have learned now how to bring myself up and how to be happy and cheerful. These are the hard truths that shaped me, who I am today. Now, accepting some of these was not easy for me, but they have been essential in helping me live more authentically and intentionally. I would love to hear from you. What are your hard truths? What have you learned over years? I would love for you to share them in the comments. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. You know it means the world to me. I'll see you next week. Have a successful week. Bye bye.